Welcome everyone to HFN, also known as HueFin News. Today is February the 8th, 2021, and we're going to go ahead and do a real quick video just so we can get a broad overlook at all of the equity markets, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, as well as the Dow, just to see whether or not this bullishness that we've seen since March of 2020, if it's going to continue. Now, before I go into that, if this is your first opportunity of watching our videos, you guys can see that our charts are simple. We're not here to confuse you. Our speech is not confusing as well in terms of what we're seeing on the price chart. Make sure before you go, hit the like button, share the video, and also subscribe to our channel. It's our whole purpose to make sure that we are giving you information that you can utilize into gauging and learning where price is going to go. Now, we're looking at the NASDAQ first, okay? And as you all can see, since March of 2020 is when the market bullishness or the trend started, okay? And the market in the NASDAQ continually makes all-time highs. And even for today, the market in the NASDAQ made all-time highs again today, up there around 13,650 points, which is very positive to see. Now, you may hear a lot of pundits, a lot of analysts, a lot of experts in the financial community state that with the overarching stimulus plan, with the overall vac that is going on with the Rona, you guys can also understand, could that be the reason why we're seeing these markets go higher and higher in price? Is because the market is becoming more ecstatic at what's been going on in the economy. The expectation of the current economic situation, maybe that has been blown out of proportion, and now we're finally getting people more involved, more comfortable with placing some of their funds into these markets. Could that be the case? Generally, looking at the price chart, that's what we're getting. I mean, when you look at all three of these indexes, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and the Dow, there has been a lot of complacency. Everyone is in agreement with this overall bullishness that is ongoing. And for the most part, you could place your money in any particular type of product and you will see some gains. Like the majority of these cryptocurrencies are going in one direction. And I say cryptocurrencies, I meant majority of these stocks are moving in one direction. It's also going on in the cryptocurrency space too. The market is just shooting higher. All of these assets, all of these vehicles, all of these products are seeing higher and higher price movement. So let's see whether or not we can actually see that continue. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we're playing this on the long term. Okay, so we're going to start off real quick looking at the market on the weekly time frame. As you all can tell, the volume that came in 2 weeks ago was massive. It was big. I mean, the market volume in the NASDAQ on the week of January 25th, it stands out. A lot of the other volume price bars you guys can see has been minimal. It's been small. But this one lets us know that we've seen a little bit more involvement with the bigger institutions. Okay. Now look at the result. Okay. Last week, the market in the NASDAQ went ahead and closed on the high. That tells us that even though we've seen a lot of volume on the week of January 25th, and the market was still able to close on the high on this current weekly price bar, lets us know that this market still has enough room to go higher in price. No doubt about it. Now, the only issue that we have is that we don't know how high it's going to go before we find more weakness. We just don't know that. The only one who knows that is the individual you see on the bottom left side of my screen, the trap. He sees on his order book where is the next huge wall of selling, or those who are willing to take the profit out the market in the NASDAQ, and understand that it will be some outlier event that would spur the movement of the selling. And you will be able to see this way before the actual event occurs. But for the moment, we don't see that. Okay. So on this weekly time frame, we're going to continue to play the strength. We are going to continue to expect the NASDAQ to continue to see higher price. Okay. Now we're going to hold that support area right here around 12,400 points. Okay. Anywhere in the green will be TP. Maybe the market might just come in and hit 14,000 or 14,500. Maybe even 15,000. So we just put on a nice round number around 15,000 points in the NASDAQ. Okay. And that is that. We're going to play this out in the long term. All right. We're going to let this market play this out in the long term on a weekly basis. So long as this price trades above 12,400 points, the movement higher in price is still there. Okay, now let's go ahead and move on and take a look at the S&P 500 real quick. So now we're looking at the S&P 500, same thing, pretty much the same thing that occurred in the NASDAQ happened in the same market for the S&P 500. We're going to continue to play the strength. And again, it started back here in March. And it's been the quickest movement from low prices to making all-time highs ever in the stock market. Okay, so this is a situation that hasn't occurred for us to come down to 2,200 points to where we're now towards 3,900 in about less than a year. So the market is very euphoric. It is very strong, and we're going to continue to expect that in S&P 500. So again, weekly time frame, we're going to continue to play the strength. I've heard of some analysts, some experts state that they're looking for the market in S&P 500 to come to around like 4,100 points, 42. So we'll go ahead and hold that there. And support into the market for the S&P is around 3,600 points in order for that to come to fruition. Got it. Okay, so we got that one in play. And now let's go ahead and look at the Dow. Now you would expect us to see the same thing in the Dow as well. And what do you know? We're seeing that right now in the Dow. The market was still able to close towards the high of the bar. Now look at this. The last couple of weeks, we found some restriction around 31,300 points, give or take, right? But what occurred the last 2 weeks lets us know that that's not going to be maintained. We're still expecting the price to go higher. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. And hold some support right there around 29,400 points. And we're going to look for this market to try to tag out around 33,000 points. Okay. So that's it. Like I said, based off the price chart, based off the economic situation with the stimulus, with everyone trying to bring back their normality in their lives, this market is still showing us that it wants to go higher in price. And it's not complicated. I mean, you all can see right here that the market on these three indexes still looks strong. So we're going to continue to play that. This is what the trap has laid out for us. So now you know what to do. Make sure you maintain a profitability and trade different.